Hello, Alex here. Thank you so much for joining me for today's full body Pilates workout. In today's routine, we're going to be sculpting our abs, arms, glutes, and thighs. I'm going to be using a 1 pound set of ankle weights. Those are totally optional. You can do the entire routine without any weight at all and still get in a great workout. This routine is wrist friendly and includes knee friendly modifications. So if you have any pain, strain, or injury in those areas of the body, this workout will accommodate you. This routine also includes a warm up and a cool down. So let's go ahead and get right into our warm up. I'm going to start down on the mat with my legs crossed. However, if that's uncomfortable for you, I suggest that you stand with your legs hip distance apart. We're going to lift our shoulders up, inhale, and exhale to roll them down and back. Let's lift the shoulders up, and as we exhale, we're rolling them down and back and opening through the chest. Good. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Inhale, lift those shoulders, and exhale, melt them down and back. Let's take one more, rolling those shoulders down and setting them down and back, leaving them in place. Sitting up really nice and tall, the neck is long, the chin is parallel with the floor, and the crown of the head is elevated up toward the ceiling. From here, we're going to bring the arms out in front at shoulder height. Inhale here, and exhale, rotate over to the left, looking out over left shoulder and back to center, over to the right and back to center. So whether you're standing or you're sitting, you want to keep those hips facing forward, focusing on rotating around the thoracic spine and stretching the neck. Good. Inhale and exhale. Rotate as far as you can while keeping those hips facing forward. Breathing out to rotate. Let's go 4 and 3. Last 2 and final 1. Nicely done. Lower down. Now from here, I'm going to turn and face the end of my mat. Again, you can be standing if that's better for you. I'm going to take my hands behind my head and go into a standing or kneeling cat-cow. So curving inward, bringing the elbows together, and then opening those elbows and extending the spine. Good. Inhale, curve inward, and exhale, arch and open the chest. Inhale, curve in, and exhale, extend. Round, creating space between the vertebrae, and extend the spine. Good. Inhale, round, and exhale. Let's take 2 more. Really exaggerate the movement. Good. Spreading those elbows wide. And last 1. Now from here, we're going to lower down to the mat. I'm lowering my right forearm down so that it is parallel with the edge of the mat, and the left forearm is parallel with the top of the mat. From this position, I'm going to extend my right leg out long in a diagonal, lengthening through the leg, and then I'm going to lift the leg and lower. Lift and lower. So keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. I'm just mobilizing the hip on this right side, stretching the leg. Let's go 4 and 3 and 2 and final 1. Nice work. Let's switch sides. Dropping right forearm down. Left forearm is parallel with the edge of the mat. Lengthening through the neck, extending that left leg out on a diagonal and lifting and lowering it. Just a small movement here to activate some of the leg muscles. And as I said, really mobilize the hip. Lengthening through the spine as you do so, finding length from the hip all the way out through the big toe. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift for 2. And final 1. Amazing work. Now from here, we're going to circle out the arms. Inhaling and exhaling for 3 and 2 and final 1. Amazing work. Now we're going to move into our upper body portion of the workout. I'm going to be cuffing these ankle weights on my hands. Again, if it's too much with the weights or you don't have weights, you can do this weightless, just working with resistance and body weight. Okay, So legs are crossed or you're standing with your feet hip distance apart. We're going to start off with the palms up, arms extended to shoulder height. Posture is really important here. Stack the vertebrae, one on top of the other, and then we're going to start pulsing those arms up toward the ceiling. So if you're not using weight, you're really ensuring that you're pressing up with power and energy. Even if you are using weight, make it really count. Imagine that you're pushing something up toward the ceiling with every pulse. Keep those arms long, reaching in opposite directions with those fingers. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears and the neck long. Let's get into that core engagement as we breathe, breathing in through the nose. And as we exhale, we tighten that core. Good, starting to really fire up those arms with every pulse. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Rotate the palms so they're facing down. Make sure the wrists and the arms are in alignment, and we're pulsing. Pressing down toward the mat. Nice, strong, straight arms. Activated upper back muscles. Good. Keep pulsing. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. Working that posture as you pulse. Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7. Give it a lot of energy. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float the arms down for a moment. Now from here, we're lifting the arms back up, and then we're crossing left over right, opening and crossing right over left. So as you cross over, I want you to really squeeze your chest muscles together. As you pull back, I want you to activate your upper back muscles. Now as you come back, try not to arch the spine. You want to keep the spine nice and tall here. Good. Alternating hands coming on top. Breathing deeply, feeling that work in the shoulders, the chest, the arms. Good. It doesn't look like a lot, but it really feels like a lot, especially with those ankle weights. Good. Keep those arms elevated. Try not to let them drop here. Keep those shoulders down away from your ears. Let's go 10, 9. Let's pick up the pace a little. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great work. Lower down. Whew, can already feel the burn. Okay, from here we're bringing the elbows in and palms are facing up, and then we're rotating the hands out, palms facing down. So in, palms up, out, palms down. In and out. In and out. So as you come out, I want you to really straighten and stretch those arms and then really pull those elbows back in. Again, especially if you're not using weight here, you want to be really moving with purpose, contracting those muscles as you extend and as you draw the elbows in. Good, breathing through it. Nicely done. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, belly to spine. You're doing so well. 3, last 2, and final 1. Extend and float those arms down. Nice work. Now we're going to move into a kneeling position. If you're standing, your feet are hip distance apart. Whether or not you're kneeling or standing, you're going to hinge forward from the hips, creating a nice flat back. Now we're going to lift those elbows up nice and high. We're going to extend the arms and bend. Extend, feeling the tension on the back of those arms, and bend. Last one, extend. And then we're going to pulse. 1, push the hands together. 2, 3. Good. Let's repeat. 1, 2, 3. And pulse the hands together for 1, 2, and 3. Good. 1, 2, and 3, and then pulse, 2 and 3. Good. Abs are engaged. Backs of the arms are really switched on here. Upper back muscles are working as you pulse. Good. 1, 2, and 3. Keep those arms parallel. Then pulse, pulse, pulse. Good work. Keep those elbows nice and high. Good work. Feeling those triceps really fired up here. Keep lengthening through the spine. Try not to drop your head here. Good, working the backs of the arms and the upper back muscles, especially as you pulse those hands together. Good, last set. 1, 2, and 3. Then pulse. 1, 2, and 3. Good work. Ooh, I really felt those arms working. Now from here, we're going to sweep the arms back, palms facing up toward the ceiling, maintaining that nice flat back, hinged forward, and start pulsing. Long, straight arms. Activate those upper back muscles, activate those triceps. Pressing those palms up toward the ceiling. You've got this. Lift a bit higher. We're going for 10, 9, 8, higher. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Amazing work. Okay, from here, we're going to switch focus and put those weights onto the ankles. Again, no weights, no problem. Regulating that breath as you set yourself up. Coming down onto your left side body. So the right leg is on top. I'm going to, if this is uncomfortable, to support your head on your hand like this. If it's hurting your wrist, I'd like you to stretch out long and just rest your head on your outstretched arm. Whatever's more comfortable for you. We're picking the legs up, bringing them forward so we're in a pike position, switching our core on, and we want to make sure that the legs are parallel so the hips are stacked one on top of the other. We're going to keep our legs parallel throughout this entire series. So I'd like you to lower the leg and lift the leg. Lower and lift. Good. So as you lower and lift, you're keeping those legs parallel, lifting and then pressing that top leg down. Good. Inhale up, exhale down. As you breathe out, I want you to really contract your core and stabilize through the torso so you're not moving around too much. Let's go 3 and 2 and 1. We're going to pause at shoulder height and continue with those lifts, although never lowering down foot to foot. So you're keeping that leg suspended in the air, lowering to shoulder height, and then lifting it right back up. Good. Amazing work. Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7. Lift that leg a bit higher. Last 4, 3, relax your shoulders down away from your ears, and 1, hold it there. Make sure the legs are parallel, hips stacked. We're going to pulse that top leg. Little controlled pulses here. Really anchor down through that lower leg as well so you're not rocking around. Working those thighs, working the hips. Let's go 10, 9, 8. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1, and relax it down. I hope you felt that in those glutes, hips, and thighs. Okay, from here, we're going to move down into an all fours position. I'm coming down onto my forearms. Forearms are parallel. Wrists are in line with the forearms, and the elbows are below the shoulders. I'm now going to extend my left leg out long. I'm going to lift the left leg and lower. Lift the left leg and lower. So the spine is nice and long here. Core is engaged so that we're protecting the low back as we lift and lower that leg. Squeeze your gluteus maximus at the top of every lift. Nice work. Squeezing that bum, lifting a bit higher for 5, 4, abs in, 3, 2, and 1. Hold. Really plug the navel in toward the spine and pulse. Little controlled pulses. Really switching on the gluteus maximus as you lift that leg. Good. Keep it suspended in the air. You're doing so well. Keep pulsing. 5 more. And lower down. Great work. Okay, now I'd like you to flex the foot, pulling the toes back toward the shin and making sure those hips stay square with the mat as we lift and lower that leg. Leading up with the heel now. Make sure your shoulders are down away from your ears. You're keeping your neck nice and long here. Breathe through it. I know these are really tough, especially if you've got ankle weights on. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, squeeze the bum, and 1. Hold it there and pulse. Final move here on this side before we switch over onto the side body, so really make it count. Flex that foot, lift that heel. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep going. 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Amazing work. Now from here you can push back into a child's pose or an upper back chair stretch. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth for 3 and 2 and 1. Great work. Okay, from here we're coming over onto the opposite side. Regulating the breath, breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth, hinging forward, bringing those legs into a pike, propping yourself up on your hand or your outstretched arm, whatever is better for you. Making sure the hips, knees, and ankles are stacked. And then we're going to start lifting and lowering that top leg, keeping those legs parallel. Good, finding length out through the big toe, anchoring down through that lower leg so we're not rocking around. We're really strong and stable in the trunk area. Core is engaged. Good. Let's go. 5. 3, 2, and 1. Pause at hip height or shoulder height rather, and then lift and lower that top leg. Good. You're doing so well. I know these are tough. We're working our hips, glutes, and thighs so well, keeping those legs extended. Good. Moving with resistance. Let's go. 5, 4. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. And last 1. Hold it here. Really plug navel in. Make sure your hips are stacked and pulse that top leg. Little controlled pulses. Working the inner and outer thigh here. Good work. Let's go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it down. Amazing work. Okay, coming over onto the other side now. We're coming down onto those forearms. We're extending the right leg out long behind, lengthening out through the big toe, lifting, squeezing the glutes, and lowering, lifting and squeezing and lowering with control. Really focusing on the gluteus maximus here, doing the work. As we squeeze the bum at the top of every lift, we're protecting our lower back by contracting our core, lengthening out through the spine. Last 3 and 2 and 1. Hold it there and move into those pulses. Abs are really engaged here. Neck is long. Keep pulsing that leg up toward the ceiling. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Flex the foot, lower the leg. Take a breather here. Make sure your spine is nice and long. Hips are square with the mat. And we're lifting and lowering that leg. Squeezing the gluteus maximus at the top of every lift. Make these movements really count. Lifting and sculpting your booty, working your hamstrings. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold at the top of the lift. Lengthen out through that heel as you pulse. Keep that leg elevated. I know it burns. You're doing so well. Breathe through it. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep pulsing. And 1. Relax it down, moving into a stretch. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you lengthen through your tailbone. For 3, and 2, and 1. Okay, from here we're going to get into our ab work. You can remove your ankle weights and keep them off, or you can cuff them around your hands for this portion of the workout. It's entirely up to you. So we're going to make our way down to the mat. Lowering down. I'm going to place my weights off to the side because I'm not going to use them straight away. And I'm going to take my feet about shoulder distance apart. I'm going to really switch on my legs here. So engaging the thighs, gently squeezing the glutes so I'm really stable in the lower body. From here, I'm going to take my hands behind my head, fingers are interlaced. Inhale here and exhale to curl and crunch up. Lower and lift. So just going into some simple little crunches here, really focusing on keeping the elbows nice and wide, keeping the lower body still and stationary. Inhale to lower, exhale, peel your shoulder blades up off the floor. Hold for a split second as you contract your belly button to your spine and then lower down with control. Nice work. Let's go 4, lift and hold. For 3, contract that navel down toward the spine. Good work. And last 1, and lower down. Now I'm going to cuff my ankle weights on my hands for a little bit more intensity. Again, if you're using them and they get to be too much, simply get rid of them. We're inhaling here and we're exhaling to come up. Lowering arms overhead and lifting. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Really plugging navel in toward the spine. Peeling those shoulder blades up off the floor. Let's go 3, and 2, and final 1. Reaching the fingers for the end of the mat and then lowering down. You can stick with that variation that we were just doing, or now you can move into a full rollover. So you're coming up with your upper ab strength, reaching and stretching toward those toes, and then lowering down with control. Good. Lifting up, reaching and stretching, folding, engaging those lower abs, and lowering down. Good. Lift up, reach and stretch, and fold over the lower body. Engage, engage, engage those lower abs the whole way down. Good. Lift using the upper abs. Fold and stretch. Use those lower abs as you roll down, one bone at a time. Good. Last 2. Lift, stretch, and lower down. Last 1. Lift and stretch and really articulate your spine as you engage your core and lower down. Amazing work. Now, if you find you've moved a little bit during that exercise, recenter yourself. We're going to Switch the right leg on, and as we do so, we're going to lift the left leg and cross over to the left with the hands, working into the obliques. Then anchor down through the left leg and cross over to the right. Good. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift, working into that waistline as you cross over, lifting your shoulder blade up off the floor, shortening the distance between the bottom of your rib cage and your hip bone so that you're really tightening through that waist and working the side abs, the obliques with every repetition. Good. Breathing in and out to lift. We've got 5 and 4. Lift a bit higher. Last 2, and we'll do 1 more each side. Lift and lift. Great work. Now from here, we're going to go into some upper ab crunches. You have the option of having your knees bent in tabletop or extending your legs out long. We're going to bring the arms overhead and lift, reaching up toward those toes or the ceiling, and repeat. Lower and breathe out to lift. Hold for a split second and then lower down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Really pick those shoulder blades up. Hold and lower with control. Good. For 3 and 2. Lift a bit higher. Final 1. We're going to come up and hold it here and pulse for 10, 9, 8. Lift a bit higher. 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, relax the legs down. Oh my goodness, that felt really intense on those upper abs. Super effective. Let's get rid of the ankle weights. Use your hands to help you to stand up or to sit up. Otherwise, roll up using your upper ab strength. And then fold and stretch. You can take a hold of your calves, your ankles, or your feet, pulling yourself down into a very well-deserved back body stretch. Feeling the stretch running all the way up through the backs of the legs, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your face as you breathe in through the nose and slowly out through the mouth. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to move into a rotation. You can bend your right knee. If that's uncomfortable, you're going to keep both legs straight. We're going to twist over to the right, looking out over right shoulder. So if your knee is bent, it looks like this. Otherwise, keeping those legs straight. I want you to really focus on lengthening through the spine, so no slumping here. Really push up. Stretch a bit further, looking out over that shoulder. So you feel that rotation all the way through your spine. For 3 and 2 and 1. Stretch the legs out. Switch sides like so or like so, whatever's more comfortable for you. Getting a nice deep rotation in. Stretch a little bit further into it. Sit up a bit taller. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center. Then come down onto the forearms. Forearms are parallel. Elbows are below the shoulders. And we're just going to extend the spine. So breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, push up through those elbows, bringing the gaze up, stretching through the spine, opening through the chest. Inhale, relax. Exhale, push up through those elbows and stretch. Good. Inhale, relax. Last one. Amazing work. Bring yourself into a standing or a cross-leg position. And we're just going to finish off with some shoulder rolls, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you melt away tension in those shoulders. For 2 And final one, melt those shoulders down and back. Amazing work. Thank you so much for joining me for that routine. You did so well. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support and I look forward to moving again with you in the next video. See you soon.